Not while I'm on duty. Talk to Delano if you need something from the department. Did you need something? Well, if it isn't the Merc, what did you want? Deputy? Not right now. I'd say you could check back later, but we both know that's a lie. Delano had some folks from outside the Fens come in and talk about some of the raiders gathering for an attack. With all the super mutant activity to the west of here, I can't spare the extra sniper to take care of the job. The Fens is our priority. You think you can help out? Head over there and pop a few melons with that high-caliber rifle? That's great news. We have a sniper post in the area, but we haven't used it in weeks. It's got a good viewpoint and should be well stocked for you. Get over there and check out the situation. These are all targets of opportunity, so take your shots how and when you can. That's unfortunate, but the job still needs done. Let me know if you could change your mind. You'll at least need to assess the situation from the sniper's nest. If you want to get up close and personal with them instead and get killed, well, that's on you. Not up to the task, huh? That's alright. Not everyone can shoot straight. Don't ruin a good thing. Listen to the Lieutenant, Merc. Standing by, Lieutenant. I thought a nuke grenade in the bus would be easier than picking off 4 of them individually. Less fun, but easier. I hope you enjoyed the show. Plans? Same here, kid. Keep that mouth zipped. The longer we're out here, the harder this will be to pull off. Get out there and clean out the safe house now. My snipers here are ready, sir. We can handle whatever they throw at us. You're not supposed to be up here. This part of this operation is Dan's. Go talk to him, Merc. Finally. Let's go kick some ass. God damn it. As much as I'd love to turn their heads into donuts from the upper stands, civilian collateral would make us a rather unpopular presence. Sir, I don't know if I like the sound of that. Sam never liked you. I mean, he really never liked you if memory serves. He's never forgotten you outscoring him and taking the command track slot from him. Won't that just upset the Institute? Make them send over more synths when they find out? You're not going to hurt them, are you? They're just settlers and farmers. Dumb ones who think we asked for help, but all the same. Sir, please tell me this isn't going to get ugly. Shooting people when they don't have a prayer in hell of seeing me or surviving? Well, that's my entire job description. Sir, our newest deputy. What'd you need? Fun's not over yet, shit for brains. Go find an asshole in green and kill it. For now, at least. I suspect they'll be back for more. I'm beginning to think the gunners out here are brain damaged. They don't learn. But that's not important right now. Yeah, that was me. Listen, Lily. As I was saying, Lily, you guys need to get back to Diamond City right the fuck now. Delano's in my earpiece screaming up a storm. The gunners attacked Diamond City just like we thought they would. Delano said we're pushing them into the Mass Pike Tunnel according to plan, but we're barely holding it together. Between Adam Cat's garage and Quincy, we're just stretched way too thin. I also got an update on Spears.
He'll be okay. We're under orders to get back as fast as we can, but we have to retrieve him first. A small group can get over there much faster than I can muster everyone and make the trip. And you know the route well. Don't wait. Leave now.
Good work, Merc. You earned your pay today. Get back to Diamond City. 2 can move quicker than a whole company. We've got spears. They're afraid they've been compromised. And they should be, because they have been. McDonough's a synth, I can guarantee you. You spend enough time looking through a scope, you can spot bullshit miles away. We had him pegged the first week. We see him go for his little meetings. My snipers keep a close eye on him the moment he leaves the city, and I don't let it off for a second. The sheriff knows too, but our stakes are a bit higher because if we're wrong and he's stupid, well, either way, we're not assassins. The sheriff's order is the only thing keeping me from turning his head into a meat donut. The structure's been here long enough that it's more or less an irrelevant question as to who built it. The sheriff's department itself was a combined effort of a lot of people tired of not feeling safe in their own homes. After she helped repel the gunner attack, DP offered the sheriff a room in left field and the rest of the bleachers to start her work. A decent number of guards who survived the attack lended a hand, and I hear it took a couple of months to clean out the place. That's when the sheriff sent for us old-timer outcasts who went AWOL with her. We brought the power armor we permanently borrowed from the Brotherhood with us, and almost overnight, the FSD was a force to be reckoned with. When we got here, we had a lot of work to clean up in right field and moved in, but I think we did a good job. And now we're one big, paranoid, happy family, fighting an existential threat. How cool's that? It's not for everyone, but Good Neighbor's the only place you can reliably have a good time around here. Hancock runs a typed ship over there, and random violent crime has dropped to almost nothing since he took over. Now non-random violent crimes, those are just as active as ever with the gangs duking it out over, 2 streets. The general public seems content to let them kill each other over imaginary control of a street, figuring they'll wipe each other out eventually. Which basically means people who find trouble in Good Neighbor usually find it because they went looking for it. The sheriff was sure to treat the ghouls right when McDonough kicked them out of Diamond City, so they're already favorably disposed towards us. I would imagine they're celebrating the drastic reduction in the Brotherhood's presence in that city right now. They've been able to keep Project Purity safe and running, despite Maxon stealing Rivet City's power plant, thankfully. But I worry about the long term because of the loss of Rivet City. It was the only place left in the region that attracted trading caravans. Word from the area is Rivet City's been limping along on a couple worksite generators, but they can't take the strain forever. Once Rivet City falls, caravans will turn around at Megaton, people will leave the coast, and Project Purity will be overrun by raiders, or worse. You believe they call the tap house an exclusive business? The place is a barely stocked dump. The Gunners are more than highly successful raiders, and you underestimate them at your own peril. They have sound offensive tactics when a competent officer is there to apply them correctly, and are difficult to overcome once they dig in. They killed a number of my squad during the same battle at Dry Fountain that gave me these scars and saw us disciplined by the Brotherhood. I admit, we underestimated them. They were well organized and tenacious. It became apparent during the fight we needed to finish them all off. The Purifier was obviously a matter of survival for them as well. They would be back for it again and again until they got it. We didn't take any prisoners that day. Any gunner we caught got 2 in the head. The dead don't come back for Purifiers. But they were tough. They took the sheriff's arm and technically killed her each one of the 4 times her heart stopped on the vertibird back to D.C. It was a gunner attack on Diamond City that birthed the sheriff's department, indirectly. They used a brilliant shock and awe strategy. Sergeant Oakes was there. If you get some whiskey in him, he might just tell you all about it. The guards, led by the sheriff, were able to capture most of the attacking gunners and their leaders alive. The city used to repel several gunner attacks a year. There hasn't been a single one since that day. She and the guards sent the gunners who escaped a message that the entire organization hasn't forgotten for a single second.
We don't shoot them on sight. Yet. Here we are, trying to fight the Institute, and the synths that they plant everywhere. And what the fuck does the railroad do to fight them? They release more of them onto the streets, some of them seriously damaged in the process. They're supposed to be a secret organization, but they leave holotapes everywhere that tell anyone with a brain how to find them. The holotapes literally tell you how to find them. It's almost embarrassing. When the sheriff found that out, she almost put the head of the railroad operative who told her this through the wall. Freeing a bunch of robots wrapped in meat by unleashing them on the Commonwealth isn't exactly fighting the Institute. It just pisses them off. The one thing that is true about the Institute is that no one can figure out what the hell they're up to in any strategic capacity. Nothing they do serves to further an actual agenda unless the agenda is to make people hate them. Think about it. If their goal is to take over the Commonwealth, they can probably do that with the primitive models alone in a week or two. If their goal is to improve humanity, how does replacing random people, some very unimportant, with copies that can't even have kids help? If they want to make everyone hate and mistrust them, well, they certainly succeeded in that. But what purpose would that serve, really? None. Technological might and tactical incompetence don't mix well. That makes them unpredictable, and very, very dangerous. But all we can deduce from their actions is that they're an existential threat to the humans. And we've heard reports of sins in the capital before. In effect, all they've done is turn our commitment level from simple security into one of survival of the species. Think about it. The entire Commonwealth wants them destroyed, and nobody can tell you what they're doing. How bad do you have to fuck shit up to be marked for death on sight, even though nobody's met you?
With her standing there, I don't need that kind of trouble. Maybe another time.
Their way of doing things is more or less the opposite way of ours. We kill those who threaten us. Bunker Hill gives them money. All that does is let the raiders buy better gear, so now they hit bigger targets further away from Bunker Hill, and sometimes closer to us. The sheriff even suggested Kessler hire gunners to kill the raiders, and then let us kill the gunners so she wouldn't have to pay. But she wanted no part in antagonizing them. I guess it's kept them safe this long, but it won't last forever. That's when she'll come to us. After the Citadel, the Fens might be the most easily defendable area on the East Coast, if you know what you're doing. The brownstones are a sniper's paradise, and the winding colonial-era streets are easy to route would-be attackers into a literal dead end. We regularly use the sewers to get behind an attacker if we need to. There's no subway system, but we're not trying to defend an entire city. Those are just some of the more obvious examples of why only the stupid or suicidal attack the Fens. We leave the ferals down there as an alarm system for the attackers that might use them. Nobody gets through those sewers quietly. You really don't want to be found poking around down here before you're done with orientation. Stick close to Lily.
Now's a bad time. Lily mentioned chems gave you memory issues. The shit will stunt your growth. Make you look like one of them triggermen, you know? Oh, and if I find out you stole anything to pay for that chem habit of yours, your last psycho injection will be directly into your brain. Am I clear? I'm still Lieutenant Linda Harkins, and I head up the sniper division in the sheriff's department. Admittedly, it was confusing to get a message from our commander telling us to come with all our power armor to Diamond City. But I won't deny, we were languishing in that coal mine with the outcasts. Nothing to do. Getting soft. By the time the message arrived, after years in limbo, we were more than happy to head out with a purpose again. First glance, the premise of a sheriff's department, a security force led by the sheriff, sounds pretty corny. But when you meet Danny Sullivan and you have to agree to crafting a new persona and reputation, well, that was in order. For the psychological value, nobody fears Danny Sullivan or security, but the gunners, well, they shit themselves at the thought of the sheriff. People in the Commonwealth know the Diamond City Security Force is a joke, while the sheriff's department will end you. The reputation stops most trouble in the Fens before it even begins. Criminals think twice because they know they'll end up hung up from a lamppost. The current state of the Brotherhood is a story about fundamentalism, intolerance, and an exercise in self-interests. I can tell you that when Elder Lyons was in charge, morale was much higher, and my job was much more rewarding. We were loved and respected by those we served, and feared by everyone else. I slept well. Our reputation served us well in the field, and on many occasions it got us a warm bed in a local settlement during cold nights on the road. When Lyons' era came to an end,
We lost our way again under a series of leaders who don't merit mention.
That's when our squad maneuvered for the field recon assignments in Pennsylvania, to avoid the politics and drama. There's not much to say worth mentioning. I'm her first sniper in the department, and I'm what the locals call a super lifer. I came here because life with my squad is the only one I've ever known, and I like shooting bad guys. I can tell you we like that nickname, the Four Horsemen, although Dan would never admit it. That was a long time ago. Decades before the sheriff's department existed, in her Brotherhood of Steel's squad. There were more of us back then, in her squad. I've lost some very good friends over the years to the wastes. The 5 of us are all that's left. We were based out of the capital wasteland, but ultimately didn't spend much time there actually for the reasons I'll get into. I was her sniper, and along with the others we formed a rather effective long-term field recon squad that ranged as far west as the pit. We hated it back in the capital after Elder Lyons died. Everyone was always maneuvering, bickering, or jockeying for power. Things got so bad with the politics we would end up spending months at a stretch on far-ranging recon duty. Obviously, with that kind of field time, we developed contacts among the settlers, travelers, and others we met on the road repeatedly. And after that, it was only so long before you make a few friends from them and start giving a shit about them. That's when it all went downhill for us. We'd grown fond of a town by the name of Dry Fountain. Luck would have it, one day they were badly outmatched, facing down a gunner attack. Seems the gunners wanted their industrial water purifier, and obviously that's not something a town can give up. We shortwaved back to command at the Citadel. Those assholes told us to stay out of it and let those people burn. But over the years in the field, we had far too many good memories made in that town to just let that happen. Together we had a squad meeting and decided to make the choice to disobey orders and stay to defend the town. Nothing was ever the same after that. Together with the town, we didn't just repel the gunners. We annihilated them. No survivors. But the price was heavy. We lost much of our squad, and the sheriff lost her arm in a plasma grenade blast. I got these scars in the same blast. The townspeople paid their share of blood as well, but they stood their ground like real soldiers, and their water purifier was safe. The Brotherhood, however, was a different story. They sent a vertibird for the wounded, and made the rest of us walk back to the capital for our disobedience. The medic said the sheriff clinically died several times on the flight back, but managed to hang on somehow. In retrospect, it looks like the Brotherhood saved our wounded asses only to make an example of them and the rest of us for disobeying orders. Punishments were swift and severe. We were stripped of our rank and bumped to initiate scribes. To make it worse, they refused to replace the sheriff's arm, which is kind of needed for a scribe, you know? That was the last straw. We went AWOL after that. All of us. The entire remaining squad. They were dumb enough to make me a quartermaster peon, so this peon opened the depot and we went shopping. We loaded a plasma arsenal and almost 20 T-60 power armor units into 2 vertibirds under the cover of night. This peon sniped all the tower lights on the Citadel wall, and we said our goodbyes to the Brotherhood. I still remember all those T-60s chained to every last little square inch of both those vertibirds we could find, inside and out. It would have been quite an hilarious sight if it weren't for the circumstances. As I said, you make contacts in the field. One was an outcast unit deep in the Allegheny Mountains in an abandoned coal mine. They took us in, for a price. In exchange for the plasma weapons and the vertibirds, we got room and board, and the sheriff got a new arm. The T-60s we hid ourselves in a different mine before arriving at the outcasts. They were our retirement savings, so to speak. Plan was to sell them one at a time for caps as we needed, living a nice, easy life into old age. But plans have a way of changing. The sheriff surprised us all by taking a job as a caravan guard, but she promised to return in a year or 2. Instead, we got a letter from her a couple years later, delivered by one of Daisy's caravan contacts, asking us to come to Diamond City to help. She's a sister in arms, and we're family on and off the battlefield. She needed help, she asked, and we came. It's that simple. You may have met Lieutenants Crenshaw, Spears, and Dan. We're all originally from the same squad under her command. We've known each other for decades now. And no, I won't tell you her real name. Except for Crenshaw, who came from the West Coast. The sheriff and all of us have been together our entire lives. We're kind of institutionalized like that now. Any plans we had to move after the outcasts were always made together. Never really occurred to us to break up the unit until the sheriff took on that caravan guard job. I'm not going to pretend that being raised by the Brotherhood left me capable of maintaining any normal family. The sheriff and the others are the only family I have, and will ever have. Sorry, I'm on duty right now. I can't spare the attention. What did you need? Depends on what you had in mind. Suit yourself. Actually, there is something you can do to help out. The first outcasts were comprised of brothers who would have agreed wholeheartedly with Maxon. In fact, when Maxon took over, those outcasts rejoined the Brotherhood that welcomed them with open arms. Some brothers who sympathized with Elder Lyons would leave and become a separate organization of outcasts, the ones we took up with. They're not much of a family, as they are a bunch of well-trained people with good equipment and nowhere left to go. They took us in when we left the Brotherhood in exchange for 2 vertibirds and the plasma weapon arsenal we took with us. We stayed with them for a few years, but they've got their regional situation quite in hand, and the settlements there are safe. That makes for a boring, limbo sort of existence when you're in a unit that took common cause with Elder Lyon's views. The sheriff got tired of it before any of the rest of us and left to take a job as a caravan guard, which brought her here by fate. By the time her message to join us reached that coal mine we'd been living in for so many years, we were happy to come here. If nothing else, it's something to do. I'm all for people taking their security and safety into their own hands, but organizing a militia isn't like organizing a picnic. You just end up with a bunch of ragtag teens who have no trigger discipline or knowledge of strategy and tactics. There might be a gifted leader or two among such a group, but the lack of basic military techniques becomes painfully apparent in battle. They'll walk right into ambushes, or can even be fooled into shooting each other when you divide them. Maybe that's why they're effectively wiped out. What can I tell you? Or what will I tell you? I've known her for my entire life, childhood included. We learned to walk together. I've served under her since she was given her first command assignment, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We were both born of and to be Brotherhood of Steel, from the cradle to our mutual decision to go AWOL. We've never been apart for long. She was the smartest of us. You could tell from an early age she was headed for command and leadership roles in the Brotherhood. The best leaders don't seek out leadership roles, and they let their accomplishments speak for themselves. She was no different. So it was no surprise when she was the first of us to make night, and put in charge of her own squad, which included me. Those were the good years in the Capital Wasteland working on Project Purity, before the BOS lost their way again. She was made Paladin around the same time, and things for our squad never seemed better. But it was a short honeymoon. Once Lyon's dynasty was over, the infighting started. She used that Paladin rank to get us the recon assignment. After we went AWOL and joined the Outcasts in Pennsylvania, she took a job as a caravan guard. Surprised us all at the time. I guess she wanted to see what was left of the world rather than holed up in that giant granite cave in the Appalachia. We didn't see her for a few years after that until we got the message to come here to help with the FSD. She hasn't changed. Barely cracked a smile after not seeing us for that long. That's how I knew she missed us. Ever since you saved Lily, she's been over the moon. You gave the doc back her little sister she thought was dead. We all owe you for that. She's the smartest person I've met since the brain trust on Project Purity down in the capital, that's for sure. Probably smarter. All you have to do is look at her greenhouse door and you know you're not dealing with just another egghead. The FSD clothes these days come from the cotton she grows on those all-season plants she derived from Vault-Tec stock. They produce enough that we have plenty of new fabric for merchants, which keeps this place operating. Then you've got the oranges, bees, apples, honey, and mead. She's really something. Everyone here owes her a great debt of gratitude. Not to oversell it, but have you ever tasted an orange? I didn't even know they existed until she gave me one. And I'll never bother with another ancient dandy boy apple again. She's got the real ones in there. And the bees. Who even knew bees were a thing? Or just how to rear them and get at that honey.
What? Are you serious? We've got childhood friends up in that thing. Spears and I have cousins up there. I don't agree with Maxon's methods or objectives, but I'm not going to kill family for it.
Seems like I have a reputation. That leaves Good Neighbor as the only place left I can have a decent time. Best live entertainment in town to boot. Either way, nobody'll talk to me because pretty much everything that goes down there is illegal. And I'm bad type of trouble for folks like them. The Red Seat District is a hole in the ground. They might as well call it the Sticky Seat District. Don't go there if Gary hasn't vaccinated you. I lost a heel of my shoe there once in a pile of I don't know what kind of goo. Looked down and I swear it blinked at me.
Shut up and pay attention, dumbass.
Sir, We're gonna have to go to Watts and clean out the place. It's the radio, Lily. Kind of relaxing, actually. Crenshaw's reporting heavy teleporter use. The second signal is pinging east of CIT. He thinks they're heading to the facility below Watts. It's a good sign our plan worked. The radio station just went dark, Iggy. Talk to me. Sir, Crenshaw reports teleporter bursts have stopped. Looks like their power's down. Well, we wanted visual confirmation it's flooded. Crenshaw says saltwater's coming up out of all the storm drains in the area. Whirlpool's a good sign. All that water's got to go somewhere. Don't tempt me, Lily. Watching the Institute fall to a martini and a massage? Oh, that sounds divine. You've got about 5 seconds to explain why you're up here. Then you either leave or we start shooting.
No, this won't happen again, because next time, we shoot first. Let me be clear. Get off the wall right now, or we start shooting.
Yeah, you kinda do right now.
But are you sure that's how you want to play this?
No,
it's not okay. Tell me who you are, or this gets ugly real quick. The person who's about to turn your chest into a giant hole if you don't answer my question.
Well, alright then. Look, I appreciate the favor, and I paid you for it. But for everyone's security, you need to get off this wall until you get green zone clearance. You've got 3 snipers with itchy fingers trained on you right now, and I'm tired of washing blood out of my clothes. I'll be happy to talk when I'm off duty and it's not a security compromise.
You again? I thought I made it clear last time.
Yeah? Not now. It's kind of important we get this done. Nice to meet you, Terry. I'm Linda, or Lieutenant Harkins for on-duty folks. Hey, guys. I was just heading over here to practice. Iggy said something about a grand opening? We're off duty, Gavin. So, you're the one Gary's been telling us all about. Snipers. I head up the snipers for the department. Mostly, that involves teaching them to shoot straight and staying awake in a nest for 3 days. Yeah, well, we've known each other for over 10 years now, at least. Right, Gary? I'm one of the ones who's been with the sheriff since the start. Can't remember when we met. I was so young. We shared cribs. Oh God, here it comes. Frustrating. She won almost everything growing up. First place, top of the class, time and again. The only thing I did better than her was snipe. Some of our less secure classmates came to really resent her for that. Found it easier to be her friend. She's not someone you want to make as an enemy. I thought once, maybe. I don't know. There was a guy in Dry Fountain she started spending a lot of time with. He had a daughter she liked. Yeah, that place. The whole thing with the Brotherhood started to unravel after we disobeyed orders and stayed to defend it from gunners. That man and his daughter were killed in that attack. A lot of us were. The burn marks on my face came from the same blast that took off her arm. If there was ever going to be a guy for her, it would have been him. And she would have loved that little girl to her last breath. She didn't. None of us did, actually. Unless you count cleaning guns, orienteering, and ranging targets for snipers. This is why I don't answer your questions more often. No, we weren't allowed. Your life is never your own when you're born into the Brotherhood. You don't realize that at first. Some never realize it. They're real sneaky about it, too. You live, eat, breathe, and sleep Brotherhood until you believe you actually want to be there. Most younglings buy into the pride of the Brotherhood thing because they're never really given another option. They don't know any other way. Eventually, even if they realize they were born into it without any choice, they come to believe it's what they would have chosen anyway. It only sucks if you're aware enough to know it sucks. Suppose that's a silver lining, Gary. It only sucks if you're aware enough to know it sucks. Suppose that's a silver lining, Gary. I remember all 5 of the ones he's talking about, Mark. Sorry. Yeah, so, it's your turn to deal with them. Came here to practice anyway. I am indeed. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be right over there. They were pressing me to spill info on the sheriff. Again. I have to agree with Gavin. I think most of us do. Of course. Enjoy the greenhouse. That's my reminder to get back to work too, Terry. I agree with everyone else. That was the best coffee I've ever had. Gary deserves to be happy. So do you. I'm glad you're here. One last thing before you go. McGilly's under orders to reset the security system once you leave, so don't mistake this for clearance. Hey, Whitworth. Yeah, I did. They're nice and consistent. Gilly spotted for me, and we plinked a few mutants on top of Trinity Tower during lunch. Definitely get 'em while you can. Tell Cricket to clear that merchant out of her stock in that size and put in an order for me. Tomorrow's promised to nobody in this world, so we'll get them while the getting's good. She's something else, isn't she? First time I saw Lily, she was with Zeke, and they were arguing very loudly with the sheriff and Oaks. They wanted to join the department after helping clear out all this space, and while they made a good case, they were also too young. I could tell Lily was really hurt by that, but she was just a kid. And we're not Maxon's Brotherhood. We're not just going to put kids in danger. I learned later that Lily was an orphan and had literally just spent the last few years hero-worshipping the caravan guard who would later become the sheriff. Lily and Zeke stormed out of Diamond City the next morning and headed to Quincy, which actually hurt the sheriff more than she'd like to admit. The next time we heard from her, months later, she was dropping off Luna, McGilly, and Evan after saving their lives in Salem. She finally had a T-60 of her own. She was so young. It was amazing she made it work. She yelled at the sheriff, flipped her off, and stormed out again. Now, Lily will tell you she moved here because the tools for fixing the T-60 parts are better here. But once you get to know her, you realize Lily's heart never really left Diamond City or the Bleachers. That's when I finally figured out why the sheriff went to all this trouble to stay here and protect Diamond City. It was only a few hours after the other lieutenants had gotten to Diamond City. I think Lily was starstruck by the sheriff and the T-60s. Lily, there you are. Yes, I was just reading my book a little before hitting the sack. How you feeling? Gary said he discharged you early, but I don't believe that for a second. He's too careful, and you're too stubborn. The Institute put quite a scare into everyone. Not you. Super lifer like me? Nothing's new. Show the locals how to shoot straight and keep morale up. They ain't good as you, though. Ain't half bad. You know me. Perch all night, sleep all day, party in between. Like I have a choice. The tap house is a dump, and everyone in the dugout inn is too scared shitless of me to lighten up. Sora, right? Didn't that little shit grope her? Then she went to McDonough, who did the same thing, so she punched him too? I like her already. I should. Third rail's getting old, but Magnolia knows how to have a good time. Can't say that about Diamond City. So you heard about the telemetry that Iggy brought back, right? We've met. We'll have to get a shipment of those electronic game things for my snipers. Friend here made it happen. Given the Institute can read your mind now? Yes, I do believe it. Smart policy. I was actually asking because the sheriff isn't talking to anyone about it other than Babs and Lieutenant Dan. Guess it's pretty hush-hush. They were working real hard on something for the past 2 days while you were out. Practically locked in the sheriff's office. Crenshaw said the Institute was teleporting now. What the fuck is up with that? How much trouble are we in? Got a feeling I know what the sheriff's using that telemetry for. But we shouldn't go speculating and spreading rumors. Expansion? Is that what you call opening a new thoroughfare through my bedroom to get at more space for people? I don't need a bunch of schmucks walking through my room like it's a hallway. I and my dresses. We have our work cut out for us, but it's enough space to make it worth the effort. We've met. Wasn't very impressed. Your friend here's quite the opportunist.
Shooting people when they don't have a prayer in hell of seeing me or surviving is my entire job description.
Yeah, I got a little bit of time. What you need? And now they've come to liberate the Commonwealth. Lucky us. Our sources say they're after the Institute primarily, but they're also after any other working tech and food. Whether or not other people will die without that tech and food is irrelevant to the Brotherhood. The cause is all that matters. I know this. Once they're done with the Institute, they'll be coming after Diamond City's resources. They'll also be coming after me and any other outcasts. No doubt they're aware we're here already. I gotta tell you, you just get me and my rifle within a couple miles of that little shit Maxon, I'll change history. And look at them now. That idiot put all their eggs in one basket, promising to make the Brotherhood great again. And when that basket dropped out of the sky, they became a joke on the East Coast. A skeleton crew is all that remains in the Citadel right now. I lost some old friends when that floating, testosterone-filled one kid's fantasy blimp hit the ground. All that work, all those resources, all those lives, all that misused power packed into a giant target. Now it's all just a flaming heap. Maxon got what he deserved. So did a lot of them. Others, though, they were good people who had nowhere else to go, no other options.
When you're raised by and to be in the Brotherhood, that's all you have and know. Leaving them is a huge step not all are prepared to make. They should have stayed and helped the Capital Wasteland, one of the biggest wastes of tech since the war. Ironic. That doesn't matter anymore. They're gone. That's all that matters now. We can get back to more conventional threats.
I can tell you that I don't envy you being a resident synth hunter. You're gonna retire some synths who don't even know they're synths.
You're gonna retire gang leader synths, rapist synths, replacement parents, and synths who wouldn't even hurt a fly. You might even have to put a bullet between the eyes of one of them that's on their knees, running a begging subroutine for their life. But remember this, and you need to listen to me when I say this. Any of them could snap at any time. Any of them could have dormant programming. They could be offering you food 1 second and cutting you down with a minigun in a trance the next. And they don't even need to be conscious of what they're doing at the time. We're being replaced, and we don't know why. The tech that can replace us needs to be buried and forgotten. I'm not sure how a bunch of untrained whelps brought the Commonwealth to heel, but they did it. It was long overdue. Maybe now the rest of the Commonwealth will start to be safer. No, sir. We're ready. The only amphibious power armor ninjas in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, you like that? We had some fun on the way up. Nothing wrong with mixing a little business with pleasure.
We didn't see a single toaster, sir. Can't explain it other than what the doctor suggested.
You look like the one McGilly was talking about. All right, then. Sounds like we have a business arrangement. Scaver said the box is in one of the executive's offices. Apparently the box is red and the room is in remarkably good condition, so sounds like you'll know it when you see it. Rumor has it a ghoul at the slog going by the name of Arlen used to work for that company. There's also a toy factory to the southeast. May get an access card if you talk to him, or there might be one at the factory. Or you might get lucky and have one right at the headquarters. You sure about that? People looking to get into the green zone can use all the friends they can get. I'm only going to offer this once. Any luck finding those game guys yet? One of the department scavengers was talking about seeing a sealed box of game childs at the Wilson Autonoma Toys headquarters. He was going to grab it on a second check through the room, but he said the door sealed shut and he didn't have time to go looking for a key. It's not exactly essential supplies, so he left it where it was. I was thinking it would be a nice morale boost to surprise my snipers with them. I mean, we sit in a bell tower for a week at a time. They could use a little something to do. But for it to be a surprise, I can't send one of our guys to get it. That's where you come in. Think you can make it happen? I don't have much time to talk up here, and I've got to keep an eye on the Fens, so I'll get right to the point. You sure? McGilly let you up to talk to me. You turn it down now, the offer isn't going to happen again because, well, you won't be up here again. Can't tell you much more because I honestly don't know. The Scaver deputy is the only one who saw it, so I'm going on his word here. They're in a small sealed red and yellow box, and batteries weren't included, so that means they should all still be working. I can give you some more information on finding a key to the executive office if you decide to take the job. I was telling you why I asked McGilly to see you, remember? All right, then. You know the way down. Take it. All right. You're gonna have to clear the area now. We're gonna reset the security once you do. Okay, then. I'll be here for a while yet. Okay, then. I'll be here for a while yet. A small wooden crate. It should be sealed, sitting in the development office in the Autonoma Toys headquarters. Not now. I'm on duty. We need all the eyes on the Fens we can get. Find me after I get off duty if you want to talk. We did. Spears is gonna cut a new doorway to the expansion from the hallway so my room can stop being a highway. Just gotta find something big enough to cover that damn hole now. Maybe have you paint one of your famous murals over it. I will. Make sure it's something nice and bright, though. Nothing like your hangman tree out there. Sounds like a plan. Well, I'll let you get back to your tour now. Thanks for letting me know about that new place.
The sheriff is taking care of her part of things at the Boston Police rationing site. Angie said you'll find her there.
Back to HQ, on the double.
This plan has Babs written all over it. No, and I like my bombs. That bomb looks so goddamn cool. So, what sort of light show are we looking for? How are we supposed to verify this thing went off and did what it was supposed to?
There you guys are. Just in time for the party. Iggy and I will be out there, watching your backs. After all she went through, I Thought Lily might like to do this. If you're looking for more work, Sergeant Oakes was telling me that he heard an old, very personal friend of his is on his way back into town for a few days. I don't know if you've met him yet, but Oakes is the walking brick shithouse who won't let you in the front entrance because it's his job. And since he's in charge of Green Zone security, he won't have time to get over there and see his friend anytime soon to, bury a blade in his head. This is a pretty important job, so he's not just gonna give it to anybody. Might even be looking for someone with more chops than you. Only seen musty old advertisements for these things, but I guess they were pretty popular with the kids before the war. These will help more than you know. In our line of work, an unhappy deputy is one that could be paying better attention. So thank you for that. I need to test these and clean any oxidation on the contacts, but if you're ever in the Green Zone, come and find me. You can have one. Iggy said this guy's holed up in a vault? Iggy said something about the children of Adam? I think I speak for Iggy and Dan when I say I'd rather be there with you guys. Expect a good story when you get back, Mark.
Listen up, people. Smoke is going to be flushing those agents out any minute now. They're coming down those steps, and it's the only way out. And you do not want to be up there, whatever you do. There'll be 3 turrets up there, and lead's going to be flying everywhere. We're here in case any of them make it past the turrets, and I want them dead by the time they hit the bottom step if they do. Everyone into position. Power armor up front to catch the bullets. Now we wait. Be patient. The turrets will tell us when they're here. You really think he's just going to leave now that the biggest threats have been taken out for him?
Now comes the fun part. Says the one who bends power armor frames into pretzels while raiders are still alive inside. You win that bet with Crenshaw yet, by the way? Raiders, Railroad, they both start with R. Aw, that's the nicest thing anybody said to me all month. Anyway, our guests should be here soon.
I hear the door. Get ready, here they come. It's kind of important we get this done. Well, there you go, Iggy. Hope you learned your lesson about collecting cool-looking shit without knowing what it is. Do us all a favor and collect a venereal disease on your next field trip like any other soldier.
My pleasure, Lily. See you later.